Rajanna's letter bomb. What is it all about? He's always been in the eye of the storm, and this time the leaked letter of Rajanna targets DK Shivakumar and blames him for the 2024 poll losses in Karnataka. This is yet another fresh turbulence, as it were, and it's an 8-page letter. You know, ladies and gents, I wish if we have the letter, we can play that. Rajanna on the screen, man of the moment. It's an 8-page letter. There you have it, by former Cooperation Minister KN Rajanna, and he's written this letter to who else but Rahul Gandhi, and this is 4 months after his removal from the state cabinet. It's dated 17th of November, so you can understand there's been a long hiatus, but the letter pins the blame for Congress's poor performance in 2024 Lok Sabha elections on certain lapses in the organization, and particularly KPCC President and Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar. He's clearly put the blame on DK Shivakumar. Of course, we know that Rajanna is a Siddaramaiah, acolyte, if we would say, a close aide of the Chief Minister. And one may read, between lines and say that he's doing due diligence, but it's not. It's kind of putting the blame squarely on DKS. And he says that it's very clear that if the agenda of the Congress party is to highlight vote chori, then what happened during 2024, where he blames DKS, is something which is very, very serious. He said we could have easily won more, 8 or 10 seats more, and maybe made Rahul Gandhi the Prime Minister. Well, if wishes were horses. But then let me now go across to the expert to speak more on this. Dr. Baswaraj Itnal is with us to speak more on this. Dr. Itnal, thank you so much, for joining us on this broadcast. Dr. Itnal, I mean, he was sacked because he opened his mouth about vote chori, and he said that, well, the Congress was in power when the electoral rolls were being done. So what is this blame game? And he was sacked. Again, he puts the blame on DK Shivakumar, and he says, apart from him, also those who were managing the booths, if they had done due diligence, we would have won 8 to 10 seats more, and we would have had Rahul Gandhi and not Mr. Modi as, Prime Minister of this country. I mean, I know that you may take it as he's being miffed, he's being sidelined, but he's a very, very senior minister, sir. Was.
No, Rajanna is a bitter man, number one. Number two, probably, I don't know, it amazes me to even imagine that Rajanna would not know that how seriously his letter would be taken in the backdrop of the way he was sacked, the reasons thereof. Because he was talking straight against Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself. During these vote chori allegations, he was straight away criticizing Rahul Gandhi's stand. So to that, and he was blaming the party. He was not blaming just individual, he was blaming the entire party for that. So I don't think Rahul Gandhi or anybody in Congress high-command would take Rajanna's letter very seriously. And that too, this is coming in the backdrop of DK Shivakumar trying to, make amends with him and getting him into, trying to get his goodwill for his candidature and all. And that after that, he made certain statements that he has not changed his stand and all. So in this backdrop, Congress high-command, whether it is Mr. Karge or Mr. Rahul Gandhi, I don't think they will take this seriously.
The thing is, it's about perception. Already number 1 and number 2 are fighting. Every day they have breakfast and they have dinner. They have all kinds of meals, but then their own camps, Satish Jarkioli having dinner meetings, etc. So it's about perception. A lot of people are saying governance has gone for a toss in Karnataka. I'm only talking about perception, Doc, here. I'm talking about how, this can really harm them. And he may be bitter, he may be someone who's miffed. But the thing is, let's not forget, he's part of the Siddaramaiah camp. And that could once again send out a message, all is not well. Now he's pulling DKS into it.
No, this letter is at best, this is an optical effort to tell Siddaramaiah that he is still with Siddaramaiah. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, what is going, it's the consequence of this letter or action based on this letter, they're all far-fetched. This is just optics, and that too to reaffirm his allegiance to Siddaramaiah faction. That's all. And DK Shivakumar has, he squarely replied to this allegation. He said that, when a journalist asked him about the letter, he said, no, I don't have any experience. I'll have to go and get some more experience and come back. He simply brushed it aside in a sarcastic way. What is the intention of Rajanna? I am very clear. he cannot be hoping to damage DK Shivakumar and Rahul Gandhi relationships based on this letter. He can at best aim to reaffirm to Siddaramaiah that yes, he's still with you. I mean, I'm still with you. So I don't think beyond that, it has no significance at all, if you ask me.
You know, DK's met him for work last week, but that's another story. But does it matter? Does Rajanna matter at all to Siddaramaiah? I mean, you know, it's how much do you matter? Like Satish Jarkioli, oh, matters. We'll all say Muniappa, oh, yes. But then when we talk about the Ahinda thing, hey, does this man, he really matters to Siddaramaiah that he's shooting his mouth off in this fashion? Dr. Ratna?
No, he may not matter much. But at the same time, he is an unofficial, informal spokesperson for Siddaramaiah faction. You know, though we have a very great motor mouth in Mr. Yatindra Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister's son. But, you know, it takes everybody to make a faction, you know. It's not that only Jarkioli cannot be, you know, cannot be managing things. And sometimes, you know, every faction. For example, in DK Shivakumar faction, we have Iqbal Hussain. Though DK Shivakumar asks him not to speak, he will speak in his favor.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all optics. Somebody has to be there to counter Iqbal Hussain. And that is Rajan and Siddaramaiah camp.
You know, Dr. Itnal, I also want to ask you that, you know, both, I mean, DKS is being attacked. He's being, I mean, you remember when they went for vote chori rally to Ramlila Maidan. At that time, Siddaramaiah was missing and he did not have lunch, which was thrown by Mr. Kharge, and he straight away went there. Karnataka Bhavan had a few frugal lunch and went off to Ramlila Maidan and went back to Bangalore. It was said that, oh, he came back because a senior leader had passed away and he had gone for the last rites. Understood. But the point of the matter is that in everything, if you look at it, it is always like advantage DK Shivakumar. Is that also creating, and particularly by statements made by people like Rajanna, don't you think that it's also kind of strengthening DK Shivakumar's gravitas, as it were, his heft, that he is the leader, he is emerging as a stronger leader, Doctor?
So what is happening, if you see the entire picture, the bigger picture from the point of view of the Congress High Command from Delhi, how does whatever is happening in Bangalore, how is it looking from Delhi? How it would look rather, you know? See, Siddaramaiah has a faction. There is Jarkioli, there is MP Patil, there is Parmeshwar, all these people. Whereas DK Shivakumar goes on saying that all 140 you know, MLAs are my family, they are my faction. I am president of the Pradesh Congress Committee. I cannot be indulging in any kind of factional politics. And he has stayed away from factionalism. And he keeps saying that there is an arrangement between me and Siddaramaiah, but he does not encourage even to his own supporters to indulge in any kind of factional you know, lines. At the same time, you have Jarkioli having these dinner meetings. We have so many other dinner meetings of Siddaramaiah factions. Well, DK Shivakumar stays neutral. He limits himself to saying that, okay, there is high command, we'll go by what the high command says. And party high command said, okay, you have a breakfast and give us good optics. He did that. Then they asked Siddaramaiah to go to DK Shivakumar. He did that. And he never came across as somebody who is, you know, who is dividing the party.
Right.
Whereas this Siddaramaiah faction, time and again they are saying, Ahinda vote. What happens if Ahinda vote goes?
Yeah, Dalits. Yeah, you're right.
Siddaramaiah faction is holding Congress party at ransom at the gunpoint of Ahinda.
Okay, very, very important point there made by senior journalist and political analyst Dr. Baswaraj Itnal. He says the Siddaramaiah faction is holding the Congress High Command at ransom.